Hello, everyone, and we are live, episode 45 of the Fitness Business Growth Podcast. I'm here with my business partner, Mitch Done. How are you, mate?
Very well, mate. It's been a while.
Mate, I'm married. You're a father. We're going to talk about our December marketing plan, the ins and outs of what we do this year and next year, and how we sold 54 people into our gym last year in a time that's supposed to be bad for marketing. Cue the intro.
Welcome to the Fitness Business Growth Podcast, a podcast run by gym owners for gym owners. My name is Mitch, and along with Jamie, we are your hosts, and we will be discussing all the important things that you need to run a successful fitness business. From marketing to lead generation to sales to retention to staff and much, much more. So if you are a fitness business owner, then this is for you. We hope you enjoy the following episode and we will speak with you soon.
And we're back, Daddy. How are you?
Daddy sounds good. No, I'm very well, mate. How's life as a married man?
Yeah, I got back from Nelson Bay. For those who don't know me, Mitch live in Newcastle. It's about 50 minutes away, and it literally feels like you're entering another country. It's one of Australia's best kept secrets, mate.
Yeah, just far and away, so it feels like a holiday, but not so far away you have to travel forever. But it's a great spot.
So we started our podcast about 12 months ago. I'm getting memories on my profile, and I could barely see each other in the video. We couldn't hear each other. Audio was terrible. We've come a long way, mate, the last 12 months.
You've gone a bit tech mad here the last few months, so
it's interesting, mate. If there's one thing if there's one thing I've changed my mind on, is we were pretty harsh on branding at the start of the year in regards to running a gym. And for the most, I still believe that. I think gyms can direct response marketing. But if you are running a podcast, if you have an online business, if you're doing B2B sales, there is a different level of trust required to do business. Therefore, I've gone all in on my content production. And mate, the most ironic thing is, for someone who didn't believe in branding 12 months ago, I might make more reels than any person in Australia.
Well, Alex Hormozi was pretty much in the same boat. I don't know how many years ago, 5 years ago or something. And he did a podcast lately when he actually referred to like this podcast that he did when he was saying how much branding is just a load of shit.
Yeah.
and now he is Mr. Branding. So
he is Mr. Brand.
People change, views change, beliefs change. And I think for us personally, like we've changed our opinions and views on a lot in the last 12 months. And the whole branding aspect is definitely one of them.
A really good thing that he said, Alex Hormozi, was like, you're building an audience, not content. So when you make a video, it goes on YouTube, goes on TikTok, it goes on Facebook. I used to think it would just disappear in the feed. But with Spotify, with Apple Podcasts and YouTube, if you get people to that platform, they can go on a content binge. And I've noticed it myself where I'll have a sales call. Someone will jump on. I've listened to every episode of your podcast. And I think Fit Pros could do it in their fitness business. As always, that we've just what I haven't changed my mind on was it's about priorities. If you've got less than 50 members, just get some members in the door. If you got more than 100, more than 150, you got money to spend, time to use, then maybe look at branding more.
Yeah, if you go back to like the 4 ways you can get leads and get new customers, like branding or cold outreach through branding. It's just one of the things that you can be doing, and it's probably not the best use of gym owners' time, especially if they are needing 50, 100, 200 members. You're better off spending your time, money, and effort elsewhere. But the branding stuff's fun. Like I know you enjoy it, and it's fun. And I think when you can double up something that's fun with something that's beneficial to your business, and you can actually see a direct return on it, then that's when it's going to be worthwhile you're doing, and you're going to look forward to doing it each day and each week.
Well, mate, let's rip into today's topic, our marketing plan for December. Now, I've got 4 things we're going to cover. The marketing that you should be doing between now and when we switch over the campaigns. The headline, which I think is the most important part. The third thing is creating a pre-sale effect. If anyone has opened a gym, pre-sales are the most exciting time of opening a gym. How can we re-establish that pre-sale every few months or at least once a year? And number 4 is getting payments over the phone if someone isn't training in your facility for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 weeks? Mate, we'll start with number one. So gym owners tend to throw in the towel at this time of year, as in like, I'll wait to the new year. So question number one, should gym owners be not marketing at the moment?
No, they should be, for sure.
Why?
Because that belief that gym owners have, if you have it, it's likely that everyone else has it. And it gets to that point, if no one's marketing, then there is no brand recognition, there is no awareness, there is no nothing for maybe later on the track when you are marketing. But if you've got 10, 15, 20 gyms in your town and none of them are marketing and you are, then you're going to be the only one that is getting in front of eyeballs at that point. So
well, I'm going to wind the clock. I'm going to wind the clock back, mate, back to COVID. No one was marketing in Newcastle. We continued to marketing, and we never saw a cheaper cost per lead, cost per acquisition. And to your point, it has the same effect every December when people just turn off the ads and go away until the new year.
Well, it's an auction system, right? Facebook. So if you're the only one bidding, you're going to get a good return. If there's 10 people bidding for the same eyeballs, it's going to be a bit different. So if anything, it's one of the better times for you to market, because this next 4, 5, 6 weeks leading up to Christmas, there aren't going to be many people that are doing it. So as Facebook would have it, you pay to play and you pay to get in front of eyeballs. And if you're one of the few businesses in your local area that are doing it, especially if you're one of, or the only gym that's doing it, it's going to be, you should, as long as you've got all the things that we're about to discuss, you should get a really good return on it.
It's also the psychology, right? Like, it's still 5 weeks before Christmas, 6 weeks before Christmas, and people want to wake up Christmas Day feeling good. They may, like, the idea that everyone's waiting to the new year is just a fallacy. It's just not true. And for people that run ads and do sales for multiple gyms all around Australia, it may surprise you that we've never sold more memberships in our life than this week.
I think there's an element of, by the time it gets to January, it's kind of almost too late. Like, you've already missed so many of those people who have had it on their mind, not just Christmas, but in December. So I think if you're waiting till the magical first week of January, you're probably 4 or 5 or 6 weeks behind, because that is when every competitor in town is going to start, and it's all going to look pretty similar. And there's going to be the same amount of prospects looking for something, but there's just going to be a lot more competitors to choose from. So by nature, you're not going to get as many.
I think for me, mate, last year, I think it was 54-ish members for our 2 gyms, Breakthrough Active Adamstown, Breakthrough Active Cardiff, were starting in the first or second week of January. Now, personally, mate, I'm not a big fan of Black Friday sales or Boxing Day sales. That's another podcast. But the idea that you wouldn't do any marketing up until Christmas or Boxing Day, wake up Boxing Day morning, full of food, full of love, around your family, to switch on those ads and start hammering leads, is not something that I want to be a part of. So imagine if you put in the work now. Imagine you do your marketing, you do your follow-up, you do your sales. Christmas Day, you wake up and you know that you've got 50 people starting in the new year, and you can completely shut off between Boxing Day and January the 1st. That's a world I want to live in. I say it all the time, mate. Every day I speak to gym owners that are burned out. We haven't burned out in 7 years, because we're not doing that.
No. And I think it's a time when you're still working. It's unless you've got a specific situation with your kids or something, you're not going to pull up stumps personally, like the start of December. Most people are working through until, 3, 4, 5 days before Christmas. And the gym's normally quieter at that time too. Like, the sessions are quieter, things are starting to wind down. So it's the perfect opportunity to invest a bit of time into this. So by the time you get back after your break, then it's all systems go and you're ready to rock and roll.
So we've established, mate, we should be running ads if you want to have an enjoyable week between Boxing Day and the new year. One of the things that I found to be absolutely amazing, mate, was we ran very similar ads. It wasn't a big new campaign, wasn't new images, wasn't new copy. We do have a New Year promotion that we do run. The biggest thing that we found, mate, was changing the headline to commencing in January. Do you want to I guess, run by our audience why that headline is so powerful and why it gives you a pre-sale every 12 months.
When you think of a pre-sale, so new gym opening in September, and pre-sale might start 3 months before that, June. And there's going to be some sort of verbiage in that ad that is starting September, commencing September, kickoff date 11th of September, whatever it is. And having that point in the future when it is beginning is really powerful for the prospect, because they see it, it's exciting. They don't have to start right now, but it's starting at a time in the future.
They get to put it off a little bit longer.
And it is, I mean, and especially when you bring it back to, obviously the Christmas and the New Year, if people are seeing these ads at the end of November, throughout December, yes, we understand, like, not many people are going to want to start a new fitness program on the 5th of December or the 17th of December, but in a month's time they will. So having commencing January, you're really leveraging just this whole new year. And I hate the term new year, new me, but there are a lot of people that are wanting to make 2024 their year. They've had a shithouse 2023 for the 50th year in a row, and they're wanting to commence the new year well, healthy, strong, fit, and make a change. So commence in January as the headline is what is going to appear at the top of that image when you're scrolling, or depending on the placements of it all. But commencing January just really gives them the opportunity to think, okay, well, once I get beyond this period now, once I get over my Christmas parties, Christmas, Boxing Day, New Year, I'm going to be ready to go in January, and I'm going to back myself in. I'm going to make this decision that I want to start. So let's do it.
So that's really important, right? Because gym owners say, well, why would I run ads now? No one's going to start before Christmas. And I would tend to agree with you. Like right now, this week, next week, the following week, they are still starting before Christmas. But as we approach just like the 3 weeks out from Christmas, 2 weeks out from Christmas, I agree with you. However, they will start in the new year. And the idea that someone can see that ad and they can bet on themselves, they have the thought of, well, this year wasn't for me, next year is. And when they're motivated and the ad's great and the follow-up's great and the sales is great, they will put their money down and commit to getting their new year body back.
It just gives you a head start, because like we'll talk about here, like it is going to continue throughout January. It's not like we stop this at Christmas and that's it, but it just gives you a massive head start. And by the time the campaign or this exact strategy has been running for a month, like you've got a good season pixel, like you've got some data, you've got leads coming in, you found the ads that work, you maybe have made a few tweaks and a few changes, and you're a month ahead or 6 weeks ahead of all the other gyms in town. So
Yeah,
I just,
and in
it's
January, you
almost like
change.
this secret thing that we've done over the years. And for us, we always thought it was so normal. And now that we are starting to talk to so many other gym owners, it just seems like such a novel concept that we always thought was just a regular thing. But
Yeah, so if we had 54 people starting in January, and then what we do in January, the headline goes to commencing in February. As you said, it just rolls on. And then a week before school, back to school. And you just have this momentum starting in the first Monday or second Monday when you reopen your gym of all these new people in there. And what they bring is excitement, energy, and more referrals. So, like,
I just want to jump in
I
for a
think,
sec there. I think it's easy for us gym owners, anybody, to think, oh, no one would do this because I wouldn't, or everyone's away in January, so there's no point doing this. Well, that's not the case. Like, yes, there are people that take holidays, and yes, there are people who are going to put it off, but we don't know how many that is, and there's no definitive answer to that. So that's why we just find that despite what some people may think, or what we think, or what our personal plans are throughout the period, it doesn't mean that should be represented in the marketing of the plan.
and the people that haven't been in shape for 20 years, they don't make logical decisions. Like, they don't. They see an ad, they get excited, they book a call, they go through a great process, they pay in advance for that challenge, and they're in your gym in the first or second week of January. And as you said, like, I never thought it was a secret plan, but we've done it for years now, and it's worked every single year. And I keep going back to just like the idea of waking up Boxing Day, launching a new ad, a Boxing Day giveaway. Just, it's just not what we're about.
One thing as well is in the hospitality industry, restaurants, hotels, anything like that, it's quiet in January. It's quiet in February. You know why? Everyone spent their money in November and December. It's true. So that's where, even if you're trying to capitalize on spending habits and consumer behavior, then people may be more likely to pay that money in December as opposed to a month later, when maybe they have been, they are a little bit short on money after everything that's happened over Christmas. So it's just another positive reason and another tick in the column to do it early.
Yeah, and it is just exactly the same. And a few Germans I spoke to have asked me, well, like, how do the sales calls go? And they go exactly the same way. This is the exact line that we'll use at the start of the phone call. I want to congratulate you on jumping on this phone call today. Most people would wait until the new year. I'm glad you're not one of them. Ha 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 ha. And they'll laugh and say, yeah, that's definitely not me. And they identify someone who takes action before Christmas. Therefore, you don't get the I need to think about it objection or I'll wait to the new year objection. That one line overcomes why would they do it now?
Yeah, you're just pre-handling what they may have brought up later on. So it's a great thing to add in and perfect time to do it.
One thing I will say, mate, in regards to getting someone to sign up, for example, December 20 to start January 4, it's what we do with our Done For You Everything service. It is so important that they pay a high price. And what I mean by high price, minimum your membership fee. So, for example, if it's a 28-day New Year, New Me promotion, your membership fee is 60 a week. They should be paying 240 because they are going to be committed with their wallet. If you were to do a 28-day free challenge commencing January 4, they probably aren't going to show up. So by getting them to commit in December, them identifying as someone who takes action before the new year, and then paying, you are going to get a high quality client.
Yeah, that can really make or break the whole campaign. Like, you can have all the marketing be great, all your funnels be great, sales call go great, nurture sequence great, everything. And if you get to the end of that call and you say, great, let's have you start 6th of January, we'll fix up your payment then.
Yeah.
Sounds ridiculous, but that would literally ruin it because they made no commitment. There's nothing. So they need to pay to play, and making that financial commitment early is essential. Otherwise, the wheels can and probably will fall off.
So we get to the end of the call, mate. I agree. 28 days sounds amazing. I know the price, 60 a week. How would you collect payment?
Right there and then. To pay, obviously, preferably, you're getting that payment in full. And that's going to kick off your 28 days, 6 weeks, whatever that intro program is, will kick off on your first session. And if that ends up, obviously you've already worked out 6th of January. And then if they say, oh, actually, I might need to start the 13th of January, no problems. Your 28 days will start on the 13th of January. This is just securing your spot because we are really busy and we want to make sure you get the spot that you're after.
So you nailed it, right? It is, as you can imagine, January, gyms are a crazy time to be, right? Everyone's doing their new year, new me, which you're doing right now today. So we're going to grab your payment to secure your spot to ensure that you achieve XYZ goal for XYZ emotional reasons. Why? Does Visa or MasterCard work better for you? It is as simple as that. And what you don't want to ask is, do you want to pay now or do you want to pay when you start? The alternate close should be Visa or MasterCard, not the date they want to pay. And then once you give them that alternate close, Visa or MasterCard, they may say, oh, well, can I pay in the new year? And let's say that they're set on that. Yeah, no problems at all, but we need to grab your first week's payment today. But you have to grab as much money as possible on that phone call. And that's like 1 out of 10. People will say Visa or MasterCard, you run the payment, Bob's your uncle, you have a new member.
Yeah, and if you've had a good call, they're just going to follow your lead. So if you go through everything, you're organizing start date, you're organizing this, you're organizing, telling them the address, you're telling them everything, and then you say, it's just another question. We just process payment here today, just put that on Visa or MasterCard, which one would you want to use? And then more often than not, they're just going to go with it.
I never actually thought about your point before, mate, in regards to like taking advantage of the season of spending, because people spend more money in December than any month of the year. So you may as well get the cash in December as opposed to them re-questioning all the decisions they made after they've just bought their kids two Nintendo Switches, one each.
You talk to any restaurant, pub, cafe, even if you look at retail, like they're all super busy towards the end of the year, and then come January, it's their dead time, it's their quiet period, because I said most people, Christmas is expensive, right? Presents, you're probably going out and about a little bit more, doing a bit of traveling. It's expensive.
Yeah,
So
it's actually
this is
enjoyable.
just
Yeah,
another payment within that period, as opposed to trying to
yeah.
get it from
It's
them later.
actually it's an enjoyable phone call to like I'm so glad you're taking action now as opposed to waiting like the new year like the rest of people. And also it's finally nice to buy yourself a Christmas present and put yourself first. Simple as that. Yeah, like it's my job. I need to buy myself a Christmas present. I always put myself last and end up getting nothing. The other thing too is like it's a great time to get referrals too, because if you sell someone into your program in December, oh, like is your partner exercising? Do you think this is something he'd like as a gift? So take advantage of the season of spending and get those referrals too. So, mate, just to recap today, A to Z, what should gym owners do between now and the first Monday in January?
Yeah, so I think what date is it today? Like the 17th or something. So
17th of November.
yeah, probably got another week or so, I think, 1 to 2 weeks before you should probably really launch into that New Year stuff, the New Year campaign. So up until that point, I would just be running business as usual, because it still is just a normal time for people to get started, and still plenty of time for them to kick off. And then as we get a little bit closer towards the end of November, start of December, make some changes to those ads. We're going to be launching a new campaign, but all the foundations are the same. We have similar copies, similar images, similar everything. But as you said, the main change there is the headline around commencing of the new year, or commencing in January. And then it's just piling new starters into your software, into your business, who are going to be starting there in the new year. Because the other thing too is January is actually a bit of a quieter time with your gyms, for your members as well, because you do have those people who are away, they're out of routine with kids and everything. So it is actually a really good time to be able to welcome new people in, because sessions aren't super busy.
100%. Especially when you're bringing in 54 people, like you need the space.
Yeah. And your staff are probably going to be a little bit refreshed after a bit of time off. And they're going to be hungry there in the new year. So along with you, or the manager and the owner, they're all going to be motivated. So it's just a really good time to be able to get ahead. And it sounds cheesy, but start the year off right and put yourself in a great position to be able to have a strong January, so you can continue to capitalize on the new year transformation people and the new year resolutioners. Because February, which we're not going to talk about today, may just be like the best month of the whole year, because that's
Yeah,
when
I
everyone
think
is
February
really
is the
back.
best.
So
Yeah.
if you can have a hot January, that'll feed into your February, and then that first quarter is going to be arguably the biggest one of the year. So it's just a really positive start to your business into the year.
What a time for 12-month contracts too, matching up with the calendar year.
Yeah, exactly. Back themselves in for the whole year.
Yeah, 100%. So, guys, if you have thought about throwing in the towel until January, we should both strongly recommend that you reconsider based on what we've done in the past and what's worked for us, which is to really go hard on marketing in December and January to set yourself up for the foundations of the year. We don't want you stressing out on Boxing Day, and we don't want you stressing in the first Monday of January, when it can be taken care of in the next couple of weeks. Any closing statements, Mitch?
No, I think the most important thing to realize is it's not a bad time to advertise. It's a good time to advertise, because there's going to be far less other people doing it. So maybe that was our so-called crappy secret. It isn't a secret anymore, but it's just capitalizing on, I guess, other gym owners' spending habits, other gym owners' beliefs around this time of the year, and you can really make the most of it.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thanks for watching as always. Mitch has to go attend to his beautiful baby Darby, and I need to say hi to my wife today. So we need to take off. Guys, thanks for listening. Please like, subscribe, review our podcast. We really, really do appreciate it. Have a lovely, lovely day.